Chapter 1. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about how to create Azure Cloud account and difference between the resource group and resource. First, we discuss what is Azure Cloud. It's a platform which allows developers, users, administrators, and organizations to access the cloud services. There are many services in the Azure Cloud. What are all those services? Networking is one of the services. Compute, virtual network, VPN gateway, database, machine learning, DevOps. These all are Azure services. How we can access these services is the next question. For that, first we need to create a free Azure account with the proper details. Everyone should have the one valid email ID, phone number, and credit card. Once you create an account, go to the portal https portal.azure.com. From there, you will be immediately get one subscription that is valid for 30 days. The name of the subscription is free trial. You will get 16,000 INR as a free credit for 1 month, and it is valid for 1 month for some of the other services. So how to get to log into the Azure Cloud? You can open any one of the browser, either Mozilla or Google Chrome from the customer client network, and we can create our virtual network, that is customer virtual network on the Azure Cloud. That's some terminologies which we need to understand. The first terminology is resource. What is resource? You can say it's an item in Azure. Instead of item, you can say it's a service that can be managed. Creating a virtual machine, it's either Windows or Ubuntu. We can call this as a resource. It's a single entity. What is a resource group? It's like a container to keep the resources to work together. For example, if you take a CPU cabinets, you can tell this cabinets as a container which contains CPU, RAM, hard disks in order to start the OS. The same thing. Resource group is nothing but a folder or a container which is going to keep all the resources to work together. Each VM will have a resource group. So when you're creating a virtual machine, it will ask either I need to create a new or I can select the resource group which is already created. So the resource group is mandatory if you want to create or install any VMs. So once you create a resource group, you can see all the resources on there for that virtual machine. So in this screenshot, I already got to install the one of the virtual machine, Windows machines. So when I click at the overview of that virtual machine, I can see all the resources, network interface for the VM, this virtual network, storage account, this all we can call as the resources, which is grouped together, and it is put on the resource group. What is virtual machine? As you know already, it's a type of computer which is running on top of physical machines. It's a virtual machine. So we can create multiple VMs on top of single hardware server on premises. But rather than creating a virtual machine in our own hardware, because we need to maintain the RAM hard disk, power supply, storage, and everything. We are going to create a virtual machines in Azure Data Center. With the right hand side, we can see the Microsoft Azure Data Center, right? It is spread over almost all the countries. So we are going to use the Azure Data Center to get installed our VMs. So we can scan the VMs in the future if you want to increase or decrease the RAM or expand the hard disk. All can be done in the virtual machine. So now I'm going to show you one of the demo, how to create a resource group and VM and take the RDB sections of that. So this is the resource group we are going to create in the name of Lab1. It's a region, and I'm going to get install one of the VM, Windows VM with the public IP address. After that, I'm using my laptop. From my laptop, I'm going to connect to the RDP of this VM, which is installed on the Azure. For this, we need to follow two steps. First, we need to create a resource group, then we need to create a resource. So for creating a resource group, go to resource group, click create, and give the resource group name as Lab1. Review and create. It will take 10 seconds, and once the validation is passed, then hit create. Now the Lab1 is created, resource group is created. As we discussed it, resource group is a container or a dummy folder. So where we are going to install the VMs. Now we are going to create a resource. Okay, create a resource and virtual machine, create and sell the subscription. It may be free subscription or pay as go. And here I'm selecting the resource group which I created, the Lab1. Then virtual machine name, I'm giving as a Lab1. Then region, no infrastructure, redundancy record, standard. We are going to install the Windows server. Then the standard, I'm going to give the username and the password. And here I'm going to select the ports for this particular VM, for this Windows machine. I'm enabling the RDP section while I'm creating the virtual machine. Then click review and play. Validation pause, then click create.